All right, so now I'm joined by Big Bird. How's it going, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. How's your EGX going so far?
The event is very good, to be honest. Unequaled Media is doing a great job with the organizing. Everything is going so smooth. And I've just finished my pool, so I qualified in losers, having lost to Crimson.
Okay. How do you rate the kind of like Ken Dowson matchup?
I would say it's just slightly in Dawson's favor, because Ken has to play kind of. I know it's kind of every character has to play like that against Dawson, but Ken has to play extra nutty to have a chance to win. Okay. Once Ken takes Dawson to the corner, then it's over for Dawson. But that's it.
Cool. Can you tell me a little bit about your fighting game history?
Well, I've always been a fan of fighting games. Like, it's always been my favorite genre of games. But competitively, I've joined during SF4. It was in 2012, so I'm a proudly 12er. And I joined in 2012. That's when I started playing fighting games. I never really thought it was gonna be like I would reach this level, like a sponsored and travel the world, but it happens. I wasn't even planning for it, but it happened. So yeah, I guess I'm happy.
Yeah, cool, man, cool. So you're now part of the Old Man Club, like having finally turned 20. What did you do to celebrate this milestone?
Well, I haven't exactly turned 20 yet. I turned 20 in, today's 23rd, right? Yeah, so I turned 20 in like 4 days.
Oh, okay. 4 days, yeah. So what are you going to do to celebrate your 20th?
I don't really celebrate birthdays. I don't take them seriously, to be honest. But the real celebration begins once you're 21. From both players. True. Yeah, true, so 20 isn't like still in the teenage years. So yeah.
And then when you finally hit the 21, you'll be able to go to all those like US like CPT events and then be able to drink with all the other players.
I'm not allowed to say.
And then maybe go to like Vegas, and you and Phenom can actually do some gambling and stuff as well.
Well, I don't really gamble, but at least I can get access to after parties.
True.
Yeah.
True. Okay, so you finally won your first Street Fighter V CPT major at GK Weekend. how did it feel to take the gold?
It definitely felt really good, to be honest, but having Phenom play his secondary characters, it didn't feel as satisfying as beating him with Mikali, but it did feel satisfying enough that I managed to get 160 points, and that got me to 740. So yeah, I guess it felt satisfying enough that it took me to Capcom Cup. Like, I'm almost confirmed to Capcom Cup.
Did he tell you why he decided to play secondary?
He told me he's preparing Bison for Boxer and Guile for Rashid. So he's trying to practice them in high pressure tournament settings.
That's the only kind of time you're going to get that kind of experience.
Because he's already qualified, he already has enough points for regionals. Yeah. So that's the best time for him to qualify.
Smart move on his part. Okay. How would you describe the Street Fighter scene in the Middle East?
I would say I wouldn't say it's dead, but it's almost dead. Like in the UAE, it's definitely more alive in the UAE than in the KSA, for example, or Qatar or Kuwait. But I think we're still surviving, but on the brink. I guess we're doing fine, to be honest. But
you can't from Pro Tour Europe, and like Middle East technically isn't like in that kind of area. So.
Yeah, but as you can see, I'm the only player who took his time to travel. So yeah, I guess the scene isn't determined enough, but hopefully next year, since Angry Bird is sponsored now, some other guy called Horsemask is trying to travel. So hopefully next year we'll try to see more of Middle East.
Do you think his Akuma could do some damage on the international scene?
Yeah, definitely. Because when he went to Japan and he told me the scores against all the top players, he did really, really well. He beat most of them. He lost really bad to some of them, like to 3 or 4 players of them. But he beat like all of them, almost all of them. Okay. So he can definitely do some damage if he wants to, but he needs to get experience in tournaments first, because he's inexperienced as of now. Okay. But once he gets experienced, he can definitely do some damage. He can qualify as well.
Does most of your kind of like training time, does that come from like weeklies and like local events, or are you more of an online player?
I haven't played online for a while now. I only play at my friend's house. Me and Angry Bird, we have like the tradition. Every day we go to this my friend's house. We play like at least 2 first attempts or 1 first attempt, 1 first 7, at least. So that's how I keep up with my level. Like, instead of dropping and then trying to get it back, I always try to keep up. And matchup, I don't really have access to many matchups in the UAE. But what I do is I try to play as many characters as I can, so I can at least know how the character thinks, or how when I put myself in the other player's shoes, how I should think. That helps me. And even when I have like players who are average or like slightly above average, they can still help me with the matchup. So yeah, I guess that's how it went. And I mostly know the Akuma matchup really well because of Angry Bird. Because we play every day and at least 2 sets a day or something.
Do you think if like Angry Bird like gets the opportunity to like travel more, maybe like next year, that he could do some like damage at like international tournaments?
Well, he's sponsored now and he's trying to go to Milan. But the problem is he's still inexperienced compared to me. He's been like to what, 2 tournaments so far? In casuals, I can guarantee you he beats like 90% of the players. Right. But in tournament, he can still lose to like an average player or someone who you think it's an upset, him losing. So yeah, he still needs experience, but when he gets the experience down, he can definitely do a lot of damage and he can even qualify. I would say even he has a better chance than me in qualifying if we have the same level of experience.
Okay, so definitely a player to look out for next year. Okay. Is Ken still a viable tournament character in Season 2?
I mean, Momochi recently won a tournament, which is the Canadian one. Momochi won the online as well. Christy won the Mexico event, and I won the Dubai event. So that's 4 events that have been won by Ken. So I would say he's pretty viable. Maybe not as viable as the other top tiers, but he's still viable and he can still win in a tournament with him. You just need to work a little bit harder.
What are your hopes for Street Fighter 5 in 2018?
I would definitely want the crash counter system to be adjusted. I would want it to be looked at again. Mainly the risk reward of crash counter normals is kind of skewed. It's highly rewarding, like way less risky. So because, for example, Urian, when he throws the heavy punch, if it hits crash counter, he gets a full in dash up to full combo and corner carry. But if it doesn't hit, he's -2. It has high recovery, so the risk isn't balanced. The risk isn't balanced. So what I want is, for example, if he hits crash counter, he can only get, for example, into shoulder or something. That's it. No dash up combos.
Very safe.
What about someone like Balrog's like a standing heavy kick that's like plus like 3 on block, and then that's a crush counter button as well?
Yeah, for all crush counter buttons, I would say either increase the recovery, adjust the hurt box, or reduce the reward. Because the risk isn't that high and the reward is very high. So make it balanced, or like increase the recovery of the normals and increase the hurt box.
A lot of jumps. Yeah, he started jumping like crazy.
I would say I remove anti-air jabs, but anti-air jabs isn't the problem. The problem is with the jump-ins. I've heard the jump-ins, hurt boxes are like, they're the reason that jabs are working. So either like adjust the jump-ins, hurt box where jabs don't really work that much, as good as now. And
do you think like Ken needs any changes in like next year?
I would say the medium kick target combo, medium kick heavy kick. I would want it to be back to in Season 1, which was would connect from almost any range. Now it doesn't connect from any range because of the pushback is a lot from the medium kick. So most of the time, if you don't know the spacing, you can do medium kick, heavy kick, and the heavy kick would whiff, and you could get whiff punished if the player knows, and you can lose the whole round because of that.
Just want to be more consistent.
Even most of his combos aren't that consistent as well. Like most of the time you'd see drops, especially the medium Tatsu. Sometimes it hits three times, and you try to connect the XDP and he's too far, even though it's 3 hits. So
you say Ken's not like a complete character yet?
And you've seen the Crimson win that.
Almost complete, but he still needs a few adjustments.
So in Street Fighter 4, you were a Guy player. If Guy was to say return in Street Fighter 5, what would your expectations be?
I've been hearing rumors about Zeku. So if Zeku is any good, then they probably would make Guy like good as well. Since they have the same style, not the same style, but like this, it's his master. Zeku is Guy's master. So I would expect him to be kind of similar, like Gouken and Rui. They're not similar, but they have Dukens, they have Tatsumakis and stuff like that.
Some very interesting theories here. I mean, like if Guy or like say a Guy like character was to return in the game, would you immediately be interested in them, or would you be more likely to stick with Ken, or is it literally just how do they play?
I would try them for sure. I would see if they're viable enough. If they're fun enough, then I would consider maining them. But to main a character once you're playing a character for 2 years, it's hard. It's hard to switch up because muscle memory, matchups, knowledge, it's hard. So the most I can do is make him a secondary character, and that character is the main character, or make him both. Like use that character in matchups and that character in some other matchups.
That makes sense. That makes sense. There's a player on the CPT called Oil King. Does this make you regret your choice of player name?
I would say if I was a UAE national, I would definitely regret so, but I'm not UAE national, so all the rumors that me having oil money is not true. I can confirm that.
Yeah, like the Twitch chat always blows up whenever you come on.
Because I have the UAE flag, and I'm sponsored by UAE team, so they assume I'm from UAE, and they assume I have oil money.
I mean, is Big Bird, is that from Sesame Street?
Yes, it was named. You met Choco, right? The organizer from Dubai.
Oh,
the black, yeah. So that's the guy who named the Big Bird, because when I went to my first tournament, that's when he first saw me. I was wearing a big yellow shirt, and I'm taller than my friends.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, I guess
you put two and two together.
Yeah, okay. I would say like I would rather people name me than me naming myself, because sometimes it's kind of cringy.
Oh yeah.
When you name yourself, yeah. So I'm not good at naming, so I kind of stuck with it.
I mean, is that going to like tie into like Angry Bird's name as well? Is that like is it Choco who gave him his name?
No, some other guy who gave him that name.
Everybody feels like, you know, they're almost like you sound like you're on the same team or something. You know, Big Bird, Angry Bird.
We're now in the same team, but yeah, they named me Big Bird because he was named Angry Bird, so they had to be birds. Okay. Yeah. So.
Okay, cool. So you're sponsored by was it NASA? I mean, what are those guys about?
So the team was recently established in March. Okay. And I was the first player. So ever since March, they started with no sponsors at all. They started with me and Tekken Master. Okay. But now, since it's been 6 months, they have a CSGO team, the best team, arguably the best team in the UAE.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. And they have 2 League of Legends team, and they're probably trying to get a Dota team as well. So it's me, Tekken Master, and the fighting game team, me, Tekken Master, and they recently signed Angry Bird and some Bahrain, KSA, guy from KSA, Saudi Arabia, called Shark Team for Injustice. So it's 2 Injustice players, 2 SFV players, 1 CSGO team, and 2 League of Legends team, for now.
And then obviously they're based in Dubai as well, are they?
Yeah, the manager's in Dubai, the team is from Dubai, but the League of Legends is from Jordan. There's a Call of Duty team as well, but I don't know where it's from. Tekken Master is from Bahrain. CSGO team is from the UAE. Most of them is from the UAE. So I would say it's based in the Middle East, but it was created in the UAE.
Okay. And do you think, obviously, if you're the first player that they sponsored, do you think that your success on the CPT is what gave them the leverage to be able to get these new teams in other games?
Well, what really helped is having the investors backing us up. So yeah, but me getting qualifying, so they set a goals. They set a bunch of goals, which was me making CPT, Tekken Master making the IPS and E-League, the CSGO making the Asia League, and the League of Legends making I think the regional team, the regional league. So yeah, once these goals are set, then they will be happy, and we will be happy as well. Because
if you make it a Capcom Cup this year, are you going to ask for a raise?
I would negotiate. I would definitely renegotiate for a raise.
I think that'd be very smart. I'd be very smart. Next question: who loves anime more, Logan Sama or Studio Ghibli?
I mean, look at the name, Logan Sama. Sama is like master in Japanese, something like that. So I would say Logan Sama. Even though he doesn't like to show it, he probably loves anime more.
The evidence is there and the graphics every single time you see him on the screen, man. Definitely. And then final question, what are your predictions for Milan Games Week and the EU Regional Finals?
Oh, that's kind of hard because all of the players who qualified are good. But I'm definitely going there to win. I'm not going there for 3rd place, 4th place or anything. I'm definitely going there to win. So I'll try my best. I got my first match Crimson. Yep. I'm more focused on next week rather than this week because of the money. I'm already qualified now. Yeah. So I'm focusing more on next week.
It's like 12K for first, I think it is.
12 or 14. I heard it's double.
It's around the area.
Anyway, it's double the money, almost double the money, and it's best of 5 all the way. So it's basically, I would say the top contenders is Phenom, Luffy, and Problem X. I would say, I'm not going to say me because that would obviously be biased.
I bet all those 3 players.
Yeah, all of them would think I am, but I'm not going to say because I don't want to sound biased. I would say these are the top contenders for winning the tournament. And then Pax has to qualify if he's not qualified from here. Crimson as well, Ras is not qualified. So they're going to try their best to qualify from there as well.
What if someone who wins the last chance qualifier comes in and then destroys all of you?
Well, Angry Bird is trying to come, so if he comes, And if he wins the last chance qualifier, then the bracket is going to get screwed.
Suddenly Lassa will put you in the number 2 spot and then Angry Bird will be number 1.
So problem if Angry Bird qualifies, then problem has to play Angry Bird. And that could definitely go either way. So that could definitely mess up the fantasy brackets.
Like, to be honest, like Problem X has practice against Takuma against comps, so I reckon he'll be alright in the Takuma match.
Yeah, and Angry Bird's been practicing against Inuchio. Okay. When he went to Japan, and we have a training partner called Horse Mask, and he plays Bison as well. So I would say he's ready for the Bison matchup.
Well, thank you very much for talking to me, man, and good luck with the rest of your tournament. Take it easy, guys.
See you guys.